from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's high noon and high time that you tuned into the Spirit of Sports, hosted by Brother Richie. The Spirit of Sports is the flagship of the Not Pods family. Not Pods' complete archive can be found at Not Pods on YouTube. And now for our host, Brother Richie.
And that's a wrap. It's a wrap for, oh, there's my one person that comes on. And 3, 2, 1. That thing's not even right. Every time at 30 to 33 seconds, one person comes on and I don't even know. Anyway, it's a wrap for Pac-12, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I've been dreading this show. I've been dreading this day. Been putting it off. You know, just didn't seem real that we're not going to have a conference anymore. That everybody left except we couldn't find a home, us in Wazoo. And we got our ass beat by the Ducks again. And, you know, kind of used to it. Kind of, you know, it pisses me off to no end, of course. I got to uplift a little bit. We're just going to do this for a little bit. And it pisses me off, and it sucks. But it's different. Because it used to piss me off, and it sucked, but we always had next year. And it's just unfathomable to me. I can't do it. We're going straight. It's unfathomable to me that I don't have a conference. And I was gonna get on here tonight before I do my NFL week 12 picks. By the way, it's Saturday night. It's well past high noon. I've been putting this show off. I'm gonna do my week 12 picks. A little bit of recap of week 11. I don't know. I'm cutting it down to 2 shows a week. Tuesday's my big one, backseat quarterback. I want to do Thursdays, my picks, but sometime in the weekend. But this show, I was going to go off on the Beavers for why aren't you running the ball? And how many effing times are we going to be 4th down and 1 and you're in the effing shotgun and then jump false start? And why are you scoring with a minute left in the first half and give them a chance to go 80 yards and they hit a bomb, go up 21-7? And why is it so lackluster? And why doesn't Jonathan Smith feel like he even gives a shit if they win or lose? Not to mention we don't have a conference or who we're going to play next year. And then wake up to the news that, see ya. I mean, during the game, there's a couple moments that just get rid of the guy. It's just a ho-hum, Mike Riley style. This, oh, well, gee whiz, couldn't get the timeout there. Couldn't get the running game going. Why? Because you don't keep with it. Anyway, I was going to go off on all that. But I wake up to the news that Jonathan Smith has taken the Michigan State job. And, I mean, deep down, I can't blame him. And if we lose Damian Martinez and Childs and some linemen, any good receiver, any defense, Oladapo, any of those guys leave, I don't blame them one bit. How are you going to sit in a recruit's house and tell them to come to Oregon State? Oh, we play San Jose State at a high school stadium in front of 4,000 people. Come. And it just didn't feel real, and I really thought we had a chance. We had a chance. We should have been 11-0 going into this game. Couple crappy plays, couple crappy calls, some crappy coaching. Couldn't guard anybody at the Wazoo game for 3 quarters. Dumbass fake field goal up the middle from 30 yards out, Arizona. Throwing bombs in a monsoon against Washington when we hold them scoreless for the last 2.5 quarters. and then just no emotion, no desire, uninspired, unmotivated, but come to realize that apparently the players knew about this early last week, maybe a week and a half ago. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all to put up a performance like that when you know you're not going to have a conference and you know your coach is leaving. I wanted to get on here and tell him one day, bring me in to do the pep talk for the Civil War. Are there ever going to be any more Civil Wars? One day, bring me in. And this is what I tell the team, that effing team down south, that stinky ass hippie town, patchouli oil, hippie, worst town on this planet. And I hate those mother effers. And I hope you do too. And I hope they lose every effing game, but we have one game that we can control that. I want you to go out and kick their ass because they're arrogant and they cheat and they're blood money and it's Nike and it's bullshit. And I hope you hate those mother effers as much as I do, because I damn near wish they would have a bus crash rather than they win one effing game. So worst town on earth. They're the biggest pricks on earth. Go beat their ass in their home place. Please. I know you might be from California and Texas and Florida and you don't know. I'm 56 years old. Since I was 7 years old, I've cared about this. I got adopted into the Beaver family. My parents are from Corvallis, my grandparents. I hate those mother effers with all my heart and soul. I'm sick of their shit. Can you go, you know what? Slam through an effing wall. Let's go beat these effers' ass right now. 1, 2, 3, Civil War. Because we can't call it Civil War anymore. And you know why? Because of Dennis Dixon and a couple of ex-Ducks took offense to it. F that. It's a Civil War forever. But you know what? I guess it's not Civil War forever. It's, I've been dreading this, and I really thought that we had a chance to win the Pac-12 this year and go out on a high note, and maybe a conference would take us in. And I'm sitting here so deflated and so defeated. And it's not just the losing, it's the finality of it. There's no more Pac-12. There's no more Pac-12, bro. Everybody bailed on us, and we're the last ones. It's like the musical chairs. We're the last ones standing. I try not to cry. I don't want to cry. I might cry. So it hasn't really hit me till I did the show tonight, and I've been putting this off. I could have done it at noon today. I could have done it yesterday. I always have to do it before my picks, so my picks are legit. Just so much history and so much caring about the other teams and how they did and how we stand and where we are in the rankings and the Pac-12 and the Pac-8 and the Pac-10 since I don't know what year. When did the Pac-12, Pac-10 start? I bet it's pushing 100 years. And there's no more. Because the Pac-8 was adopted in 68. Okay, but it was the PCC. It's been around forever, whatever. And I'm not going to blame it all on greed. I'm going to blame it on stupid, terrible, dumbass leadership, kind of like there's just stupid, terrible, dumbass coaches make stupid, terrible, dumbass decisions. Larry Scott not taking ESPN's money was one. I guess Google offered some money, thinking they could rest on their laurels and we're the Pac-12 and having a flat out piece of shit, crappy ass mother effing Pac-12 network. There's 12 different ones. You show different games in different sections of, and the announcers suck and the quality sucks. And then turning down money and just, oh, we'll be okay. And then, you know, a couple teams leave and a couple more. And we're thinking, well, Cal and Sanford, the four of us, we'll figure something out. I mean, what does Utah and Colorado have to offer the old Southwest Conference, now the Big 12? What do they have to offer more than we do? They could make room for us too. I fear for the future. I fear that if I have to even adopt another team, my dad adopted the Ohio State Buckeyes. Maybe I just follow him and just love them as much as if I went there. Maybe take one term online. Take underwater basket weaving 101 online at Ohio State, give them like $1,000 and say, I took a class there, so I can be a fan. I've been outside with a horseshoe. Maybe me and him take a trip next year. Maybe I'm a Michigan State fan because I do like Jonathan Smith, even though just some of the dumbass shit he does. Can we get this guy that's solid? Dennis Erickson's the only one. And he had to leave. And he has said that his one regret was leaving Corvallis. Oh, Corvallis. And F the Ducks. What a day in college football. 4th and goal from the 30, and Bama throws a laser dart. And Isaiah Bond makes the catch. Little push off, but what? Backseat quarterback. Last play of the game. In any other play of the game, would you ever only rush 2 guys? But no, you give the guy 7.5 seconds in the pocket. Count that. Set hut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's going to get open. How do you let a guy behind you, though? Back of the end zone, little push off, but talk about miracle. But I was stoked because they beat Georgia. Maybe those two go. But Ohio State can't. I don't know. Michigan, Georgia, Bama, and Florida State. Florida State barely won. They lost their quarterback. Ducks could jump them. Actually, I'm the hugest. Maybe I'll just be a Husky fan. Because right now, that's my team. Love thine enemy's enemy. I don't know if Napoleon said that or George Washington or me. One of us made it up. Love thine enemy's enemy. Kind of always a sore spot was that, you know, our big rival was the Ducks, but the Ducks' big rival was up north in Seattle, UW. We're just a little brother. And that dick that has a shave ice place and texting people on board, hey, write a note and tell Richie go Ducks. And I saw the text. I said, fuck, F you, dick. Even though I do talk shit to him, but. Painful. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Let's compare that to this. Because it's the end of, there's a lot of end of an era. There's a lot of ends of an era. This is a true end of an era. Rest in peace, Pac-12 Network. Rest in peace. So anyway, let's change it up a little bit. Enough of that. Life moves on. You know what? It's going to be great games. Michigan, USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Oregon on a Saturday night, and I can root just as hard. You know, my favorite team is going to be the rest of the Big Ten. I have 12 new favorite teams. Everybody in the Big Ten besides the Oregon Fs. Let's get into Week 12. This is Week 12 of the NFL. By the way, this is Saturday, November 25th, rivalry weekend in college football. Got a little funky jam I put together. I've been messing around with GarageBand. Gonna work on some new recording gear. Get a nice microphone, noise cancellation. All that's coming. A new set. Got a production partner helping me out. Got a cap. And the saying, I'm cutting down to twice a week because, for one, content is hard. For two, it's just, I think, leave them wanting more. So I did almost 3 months of almost every single day, and it's time for, and then I start charging 51 cents a month. You don't have to listen to me every day. Let's get into it. NFL, Week 12. I did these picks on Wednesday evening, so these are the spreads. And as I've been preaching, the point spread, actually 4 games were affected by the point spread last week, which is tied for the most this year. There's been weeks where only 1. It usually averages 2 games a week only out of 14 to 16 games that the spread even matters. So basically, if you can just pick the winners, just throw the spread in. And the biggest spreads that make a difference are 6, 3, 9, and 2.5. And only 2 spreads over 13 points have made a difference where the spread mattered. So if it's a big spread, usually the favorite covers. 3s and 6s and 9s. That's the main ones that the spread comes into play. So for me this week, I have 1, 2. I have 3 games, but I kind of want to change. Yep. I only have 2 games. So I think Max Crosby's out, so and that's going to be 10. So the first 4 games I did pick Wednesday night. I had Detroit straight up and -8 over. I had Dallas straight up. I actually took the points with Washington. So that's a plus, and that's a minus. I went San Fran and give the points. That's 2 pluses. I went Miami and give the 10. New Orleans was pick'em. It's up to 1.5 now. New Orleans favored. New Orleans at Atlanta. New Orleans favored by 1.5. I'm taking New Orleans, I guess. Remember, I did this on Wednesday. I really haven't thought about it much since then. I'm taking New Orleans straight up, and it's a pick'em, so it's New Orleans. Pittsburgh at Cincy. The backup quarterback, 3rd string quarterback, DTR, looked okay. Matt Canada gone. This is the turnaround the season. Pittsburgh, taking Pittsburgh straight up, and I'm laying the 1.5. Carolina at Tennessee. Tennessee at home, straight up, and lay the 3.5. Tennessee. Indy over Tampa at home. I'll take Indy. Straight up, I'll take Indy minus 2.5. New England at the Giants. I'm taking New England straight up, but I'm definitely taking the Giants at 3.5. I think the Giants might straight up beat them. I'll take New England straight up. So that's 2. I think that's the only 2 that I'm taking the spread into effect. Jacksonville at Houston. Taking Jacksonville and give a point. Not sure about that, but that's my point. Denver at home. Solid. Oh no, Pittsburgh's not DTR, it's Jake Browning. This is DTR. Jake Browning looked pretty not great. Denver -1 at home. I'll take them straight up, and I will throw the point. I like Arizona to beat the Rams outright. Take Arizona at home. Kyler Murray's back. And I will take a 1.5. It's up to 2.5 now. It's 1.5 on Wednesday, so take Arizona both ways. KC at Vegas. KC straight up. It was 9. I took the Raiders, but I'm changing to KC, and I'm giving the 10. They don't blow me out, but I think after all the crap they're due, maybe the guys will catch a pass. Hang on to the ball. Buffalo at Philly. Philly's due. I got Philly straight up and give the 3. Baltimore 3.5, giving 3.5 point favorites at the Chargers. Take Baltimore and give the points. And Minnesota, finally, Monday Night Football. 3-point favorites at home versus Chicago. I will give the 3.5. And I'll take Minnesota. My 4-pack. I'm going 2 home dogs, 1 home favorite, and a road favorite. I like the Giants +4 versus New England. I like Denver -1 at home versus Cleveland. I like Arizona +2.5 versus the Rams at home. And I'll take Baltimore all day -3 at the Chargers. Now, if they would have fired Lane Staley, he's dead. If they'd have fired Brandon Staley, Lane Staley, shout out, one of my all-time favorites, Alice in Chains. Rest in peace, Lane Staley. Rest in peace, Pac-12. If they would have fired Lane Staley, I might think about taking the Chargers, but they're in a bad way. You got a defensive head coach, and they're dead last in defense. What are we doing here? So that's my week 12 picks. I haven't even looked at the panic room. Let's do it. Let's do it, shall we? The purge is on. The marauders, the pillagers are outside the door. The weak, the meek, and the mild line up over here. There's a panic room. This is week 12. Let's see who's going into the panic room. Arizona, no, you're okay. Falcons, I think you, oh yeah, you lost 3 in a row, Atlanta Falcons. This is your fourth week in the panic room. Stay. It's about time you grab your sleeping bag. Ravens, no. Bills, you won. You're okay. Carolina, just what are you going to do? You're 1 and what? 1 and 9. Lost 3 in a row. Lost 6 in a row. Beat Houston somehow. Lost 3 in a row. Carolina. 7th week in the panic room. Stay, Frodo, stay. Bears. How do you blow that game? You're in. Buffalo's out. Green Bay's out. Buffalo's out. Let's look at, Jacksonville. They're out. Chargers are going to stay. New England's going to stay. Carolina Giants are going to stay. The Giants, they're out. They won. Jets are stay. Tennessee. Off a bye. You know what? Off a bye, I'll let you out. So we got about 5 or 6 teams that got out of the panic room. Chicago back in. This is their 7th trip off and on. Bengals. You kind of gotta. 2 losses in a row to Houston and Baltimore. But main thing, Joe Burrow. So that might be your first trip in. No, you were in once before. Looks like, so Cincy, it's your 2nd time into the panic room. Either you're out here with the Marauders, you're shaking in your boots, lock the door, or you're terrified and you're in the panic room. What'd the Browns do? 3 wins in a row. That's right. Cowboys opposite Denver, opposite Lions. You're knocking on the door, Lions, but 8-3. We'll allow it. Packers. Just bust your way right out of there. Texans, you're fine. Colts, not a whole lot of expectations. 1-2 in a row coming off a bye. You're definitely fine. Jags, you got out. Chiefs, not yet. You're locked in the house, though. You got to catch the ball. Raiders, you're still riding the new coach theory. You're fine. La Rams, coming off a bye and a win. You're fine. Dolphins looking good. Vikings, tough loss, but they're riding the Dobbs train. New England Pats, 3 losses in a row. Worst team in football? I don't know. This is your 5th week in the panic room. New England Patriots. Who would ever thought? Are they is Belichick just throwing games and go get traded to the Chargers? That's a thing. Don't ask me that question anymore. I'm calling the defense. You don't have to ask me anymore. I still have a job. We lose as a team. What a great pep talk. Let's go out there and lose as a team. Brandon Staley. Giants, you're good. Jets. Yep. New York Jets, this is your 6th week in the panic room. Stay, Frodo. Eagles, you're fine. Steelers. You know what? Matt Canada, good riddance. 49ers, you're fine. Sea Chickens. 2 straight losses at Dallas, at San Fran versus Philly. You know what, Seattle? Firmly in the panic room. I don't think you've been in yet. Your first ever trip into the panic room because you haven't lost 2 games in a row. It's just, look at that schedule. Welcome and hello, panic room. I'm Seattle. I might be here for a while. Tampa Bay Bucks. Not huge expectations. Titans. 3 losses in a row. You got Carolina. You know what? Yeah, you're still in. You got to beat Carolina. This is your 2nd week in the panic room. And the Washington Comanches. Craig Carton's becoming my favorite. Washington. 3 losses in a row. Definitely. I didn't have you in last year. Maybe because you played everybody tough until recently. So this is your 3rd time in the panic room. That does it for that. Just a couple things. The trends continue. I just don't understand. Less turnovers. The teams with the less turnovers went 9-2-3. They're 86, 33, and 25 when you're even. 72.3% of games you win if you turn the ball over less. Now, penalties is different. 52 and 75. So you can have the penalties. You can lose a penalty battle and still win the war. But I'm telling you, turnovers and run the ball. Balance attack and turnovers. I don't understand. Was home field went 10-4, 6-7-1 against the spread though. So yeah, 4 games the spread. 93 and 71. The home field is straight up this year. 80, 73 and 11 versus the spread. As usual. As usual, run the ball. Actually, the teams that won the ball this week, last week, week 11, 55.8% pass. So 44.2 run, which is the biggest discrepancy of the season. Usually it's right around 52% pass to 48 run. 60% pass, 60-40 pass, 65-35 pass, 62-38, even 59-41, you lose. 55, 52, 50-50, you win. It's just how it is. Why is Aiden Hutchinson, a rookie, throwing the ball 41 times and Josh Jacobs gets at 13? In a close game, mind you, never behind by too much, not a blowout. You have a rookie throwing the ball 41 effing times. And the leading rusher last year in the NFL runs at 13. And you lose by a touchdown. And you go for it twice on 4th down in the last 8 minutes inside the 30. It hurts, man. It hurts. I think that on the season, unders, 62% of the games are under. Didn't get to week 11 yet. A little behind this week. Just, I really think that this whole, Pac-12 thing, my Beavers, my Beavs, go Beavs. See what happens. Try to be positive. Don't cry for me, Oregon State. Pretty well far from Argentina, but I know what you're talking about. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it 35 minutes in the books. See you on Tuesday for, I'm sure, another wild and crazy backseat quarterback. And then I will see you on Thursday for my picks. Tell you what went down in week 12 besides all the dumb shit that they do. So Tuesday, backseat quarterback. Thursday is a NFL preview and talk some college football and whatever else. Maybe I'll go into the archives. I have, this is pretty cool, 2,537 recordings. And sometimes I just go like this and go to, when is it? February 6th of 2023. That's me singing. So I will give my offensive scheme very live. Bowling ball. I can pull out the archives. Go through stuff because we're talking sports, we're talking life. This is the Spirit of Sports. Brother Richie. Didn't even bring that up yet because you should know by now. Brother Richie, live, middle of the Pacific Ocean. Notpods.com, coming one day, maybe. And my YouTube channel at Notpods. I'm going to have to master social and marketing. And it's a master plan, people. This is the goo goo gaga. Goo goo gaga before you talk. Walk, crawl before you walk, roll over. I'm right there. Infancy. I want to look back at this and laugh, but I will be asking for 51 cents a month because 49 just makes you think that I think you're an idiot. And I think that you are very smart to be listening to me. I think 51 cents a month out of your credit card is next to nothing. So love yourself, love each other. Aloha. I will talk to you on Tuesday. Ahui ho.